Oh boy, I don't want to do that one. You see, I'm a PC user, and Macintosh hasn't been you know, my line of learning, so I don't really know much about those. But this is a Powermac G4. It has a dual 1.25 gigahertz CPU. It had no RAM when I got it. Bought it for $40, by the way, in its box and everything. So I've upgraded it to 1.5 gigs of RAM. It had an 80 gig hard drive, and it's the original 80 gig hard drive from what I can see from the packing slip I had. This machine was shipped actually with 512 megs of RAM, and like I said, I received it. There's nothing, so better served by yourself. So at first, I thought, Mac uses probably ECC memory, so I said I won't take a chance. And got two of those little puppies. This is a 2 gigabyte module DDR ECC registered memory from HP. I got two of those. And I kind of figured out that when it gave me the little, buzzing beep, I kind of realized that wasn't going to work. So it takes standard DDR memory. Now I'm aware that there are 3 models, or 4 if you want to know, if you want to be more precise. There was the first edition, which looked like, a transition from a G3 to a G4. The other one was more graphite, where it looked a bit like a G5 but wasn't. And we had this one that was the latest in its life, which is the mirror drive doors. As you can see here, we have 2 drives here that we can open. It came with the super drive, and I added a DVD burner on the bottom because I wanted to burn something with DVDs, and I kind of, realized that Mac OS X 10.3 was a big bitch. So I ended up getting 10.4 for now, and I am aware that they can support up to 10.5, and then afterwards it's the end of it. They'll need an Intel CPU. So I'm going to play with that later on. But I have something to show you. The box. What the fuck were they smoking? Freaking... Let's take a closer look to this piece of shit. Is this necessary? Like, seriously. I can't even... There's no way to pick it up properly. It's a freaking cube. And you think, there's a couple of handles here, you can pick them up, but no. You barely have the space to fit 2 fingers on it. That has got to be the shittiest design I've ever seen. When you can get a freaking computer, let me take that G4 for an example, like this, you stack a keyboard and mouse like this, and you make the fucking box like this, not like a fucking cube. This thing's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Son of a gun. Ugh. This thing weighs like a boat anchor too, so try to frickin' make a maneuver out of it without crushing your fingers or dropping on your feet. Fudge. So you know what? They've gotten it right nowadays, and they kind of saw that kind of intrusion. And PC manufacturers were even guilty of the same thing. If you're gonna make a big cube like this, then fucking make it usable. Make it, portable in one way or another. Don't even bother having those. It's not even worth it. Piece of shit. Anyways, for getting over that big box thing, the computer itself looks pretty nice. I mean, it's a pretty quality transparent plastic, but I kind of like the look of it anyways. It looks like it's been built solid, and aside from that stupid box, that box itself is much more usable. How do you open it? Right here, we have a little, how can I say that? A little latch. You just pull on it, like so, and the whole thing comes down. Half, and the other half is there. But, I don't think we're going to see much here. Let's take a closer look. Alright, so what we have here is the dual CPU G4s right here. We have our ATX. I think this is a 20-pin connector. I'm pretty sure it's proprietary. I'm not going to take a bet of it. We have a 90 hard drive, 90 connector here in the back, and 2 more here. Now, another thing too I don't like is they use rather kind of a crappy performance IDE back on PCs. This is a actually no, this was shipped in 2004. In 2004, we had at least ATA 133. The connector right there in the back, right here, is an ATA 33, and this is an ATA 66. I haven't checked this one because I haven't found any text. I hope it's ATA 100 or 133. I mean, come on. It's got an AGP4X video card. This is a Radeon 9000 Pro. It has airport, and that's the airport there, wireless B. So that's, yeah, it's kind of old. Not performant, but whatever, it's wireless. And I added an extra 2 USB ports because I only had 2 in there. Now let's go on the other side of the computer. Over here we have our factory 80 gig Seagate hard drives. This is where your super drive, technically a CD burner DVD-ROM combo, and my DVD drive down the bottom. This is where you'd install both of them. And this is undone by this screw and one of them that's in the front right there. This entire cage assembly gets out. I've also added another 80 gig hard drive right here. You can actually add up to 4 hard drives if you populate them all, which is nice, but the fan here is an intake fan from the front. So technically that hard drive gets warm. So if you get 2 of them, it really gets hot. So it'll intake hot air into the CPU and exhaust really hot. So that's not really a good idea. And here we have our 360 watt power supply. 16 amps on the 12 volt rail, 20 amps on the 5, and 17 on the 3.3. That's one of the main problems here too. They were common to blow up. I guess it was just power supply failures or it was overheating. I'm not sure. This one I'm glad to say that it works, so that's very good. Now let's go at the back. At the top we have our airport card, 2 USB 2. Well, they're supposed to be 2.0 slot ports. That's actually added by me. This is your Radeon 9000 Pro, which is including 1 DVI and 1 round thing that I don't remember the connector name, but I do have the converter that converts it to DVI. This little hole right here, I have no idea what it is. It looks like it's a transmitter, but you Apple users would be more aware of what it is, so I'd appreciate if you tell me what it is. We have our is this line in? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, a microphone or line in jack output. This one does not come with a telephone modem, so you get nothing here. We have our gigabit Ethernet, which is kind of nice. 2 FireWire 400, and this is USB 1.1. We're in 2003. This machine shipped in 2004. Maybe it's because we still use the old hardware from the very, very first G4s, which I would not be surprised. But I don't know. USB 1.1, you know, I would have taken a 100 megabit Ethernet over a USB, I would have taken that and, would have liked to have USB 2.0, but whatever, that's beyond the point. It works with the keyboard and mouse, and yeah. Well, now that's enough of chit-chat, and let's get it in action and see what it can do. Yeah, that buzzer that squeaker cam really shakes the entire case. This kind of speaker, actually, I'm pretty sure Toshiba actually released Harman Kardon speakers back in 07, 08, and they kind of resemble this one, but I'm not going to put my money on that. And this is your typical Apple loading screen. So let's get to it. That's something I kind of like. It actually loads really good for its time, and I'm actually very happy about that. This is basically your taskbar. Well, we have our dashboard and stuff. Haven't played with it yet, and it's pretty stock, so I haven't installed any applications. YouTube works out of the box, not even a single flash player add-on needed or anything. It just goes right out of the box. What's Finder? Oh, Finder opens your file manager and you can just have some fun. You'll see in the application what I got. Now remember, I haven't installed anything else, so that's all I really get. QuickTime and everything, Sherlock, utilities, the installer. I guess I can modify what I want. It has the disk utility here, and this is one thing I have to mention. I'm going to actually click burn. I can't really. No, darn it. I'm going to create a new image. I'll save it as the 40 megs. That'll do it. Just for a demo, anyways. Okay. So here, if I want to go ahead and use burn, it'll pop out my my super drive. Now in OS 10.3, this NEC DVD burner here was not listed. Let's see, now I just ejected my other one, which is nice. Kind of like that actually. And it did not actually recognize it, but Roxio Toast, which was pre-installed in the other one, was actually recognizing it and was burning it properly. So there was no problem here. But this one actually seems to support it out of the box, so I'm very happy for that. And now all I have to do is upgrade it to 10.5, and I can actually manage to get, you know, the later features that I did not have here in 10.4. Also in 10.3, if I go to About This Mac, here it mentions 1.5 gigs of RAM. Let me get a closer look. It mentions 1.5 gig of DDR RAM. In OS X 10.3, it only saw 1.25 gigs of RAM. So I guess this must have been a memory limitation as well. And I find OS X 10.4, this is 10.4.11, I find it much better than 10.3.9. That's just my own thoughts anyways. We'll go ahead and unmount that. And I'll move that out of the thing. Oh, I guess I have to eject it. Yeah, that's it. And then you move it out. Oof. Just goes away, and then now, of course, you can't control Shift Delete or Alt Shift Delete. You got to do Cloverleaf Shift Delete, or technically backspace, and it doesn't want to do it. So Cloverleaf backspace will do it. You hold, you click and hold trash, and you go empty. Done. This is your favorite launch icon, I believe. I don't have. Oh yeah, it's connected wirelessly. Yeah, that's one thing I'd like to see on this on this computer. Oh boy. But anyways, so yeah, there's nothing really interesting in this one. And like I said, it's basic. I've never tried iTunes actually. Yeah, I might as well agree. Welcome to iTunes. No. There we go. That's iTunes from back then. Oh, that's nice. And of course, we have the menu that's integrated on the top here. So if whenever you want to switch, it goes to Finder, then it's iTunes. Which is kind of nice. I'm just going to go ahead and quit that. And Safari right here is still open, so you can hold and click quit. And yeah, the migration assistant, I really don't have much to say on it. I'm not really a OS X user, so I can't really go around and play with some stuff. But I will definitely use it to study on it, because I'm already a Windows and Linux user, and that's my main field. But it's good to always have an extra knowledge. And this thing came with the box. I mean, the obese box. The keyboard and mice. And all that for $40. So that was nice. I kind of saved it from being scrapped. So Apple fans, here's a computer video. Well, here's an Apple computer video for you, and I just saved an Apple Powermac G4 from being scrapped, and it works flawlessly. So now let's go wrap things up, and I'm going to talk about one of my main dislikes of Apple, and as to why I don't want to usually go ahead and buy one. Now, we saw the specifications of it and what it's capable of, and we saw how fast it loads vanilla anyways, how it is technically. And they actually optimize their software just so they can fit their own hardware, and that's very nice. It's very good for that. And there's a downside to that though. Even though this computer is very powerful for today's use, they have the freaking tendency of using planned obsolescence and really pushing it. This computer's from '04. The design must have been from the early 2000s anyways. And, well, maybe late 90s. Who cares? This computer is very capable of doing today's computing needs anyways. And the latest operating systems won't support it because it's a Power PC, not an Intel. Now, that wouldn't have been a big deal, but there are some Intels, very few first Intels, like the Core 2 Duos and everything, they won't support OS X 10.8 either because their CPUs are just not supported. They make their computers so after 4 or 5 years, you gotta either stick with it or change it if you want to upgrade again. That's my main concern. I got computers here, a Pentium 3 with 384 megs of RAM, and I can use it on a daily basis. Now, I'm not going to do heavy multitasking, I'll have to, give it that, but they're very capable computers, and the fact that they make it obsolete so fast is really annoying. And now I've heard the Mac Minis, the late 2004s, have soldered memory, and I believe also soldered hard drive and soldered CPU. However, I won't put my money on that either. But that upgradability factor is also very nice to have in computers. And even though people say the end user won't even do that or not, who cares? The option's there, it's nice to have. Keep that, You want to have upgradability and long-term support. A computer that can run XP can run 7. Hey, a Pentium 3 can run 7. Why not a Pentium 4? I've seen Pentium 4s with OpenSUSE 13.1 and they work as if they were new, like nothing ever happened. And that's with 1 gig of RAM. Imagine 2 gigs. And the fact that this right here is not supported by the latest operating system, I did try OpenSUSE on the PowerPC build, but yeah, it didn't kind of work the way I kind of felt like it would, and kind of gave it up, and I just stick to OS X. But so anyways, I guess that's enough for this one. If you got any comments, questions, anything I've overlooked or not looked at, because I'm pretty sure I haven't looked at everything on this thing yet, feel free to leave me a comment down below. And until next time, take care.